Hi, I'm iPalmy and welcome back to my channel. Today we are gonna chat about some of my all-time favorite games on the Nintendo Switch. These are just some of my favorite games. I would say this is kind of like a top 10 of games I would recommend to play on the Nintendo Switch. We mainly have some more chill, casual games on here, some very cozy games, some definitely have some combat in there as well, some JRPGs. We have just a mix of everything, so I think there's something for you here, no matter what type of player you are. So we have got to start off this list with a Pokemon game. We are definitely featuring some Pokemon games today. I am just a huge Pokemon fan, if you can't tell already by all of the Pokemon plushies in the background. The first game that I gotta just say I love playing on the Nintendo Switch is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is maybe a bit of a controversial take, but this is actually my favorite game in the Pokemon franchise purely because it is open world. The graphics, the performance, definitely one of the worst games I would say Pokemon history. I hope maybe one day they'll come out with a patch, or maybe we'll get a new Switch model that will run these, bigger Pokemon games better. I really don't care about the bad performance because this game is just so much fun. I love it so much. The open world aspect truly revolutionizes Pokemon for me. And yeah, I love that we can run around in the world, feel very immersed. It feels like I'm actually in a Pokemon world and I'm encountering all of these Pokemon. It's also really fun to complete your Pokedex this way because you can see all of the Pokemon walking around. You don't have to go kind of like blindly into the grass and just see whatever you encounter and hope it's the one you're looking for. So that makes it so much better. I also really like the story in this one. They did a lot of new stuff too with, opening up the gyms, as in it's up to you to decide which gym you want to try on first and the one next. Although they do not like scale in level, some of them are really easy and some of them are really hard. So if you don't know and you just start with the hardest one, you might not have a great time. But it's all just really part of the process and really fun to just figure it all out. And yeah, like I said, the story is amazing. And this game is also not done yet. There's a DLC coming this year. Still, I think it's fall this year. That's also gonna add on to the story. We're gonna get more Pokemon. So it's just gonna be a great time and I'm really excited for it. So that's definitely number one on my list. Number two, I cannot leave her out. Obviously, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons. I have talked about this game so many times before. I've streamed it a lot as well. I do stream on my Twitch channel, which is linked in my description box down below. I love Animal Crossing so much. I love it even more than Pokemon. Like Pokemon and Animal Crossing are like my favorite game franchises, and I think Animal Crossing will just always have my heart and be my favorite one. Animal Crossing New Leaf is my absolute favorite game. So I had high hopes for Animal Crossing New Horizons and it looked so beautiful, and it is very beautiful and it is a great game in many ways. So I definitely have to put it on this list. If you have a Switch, I would say Animal Crossing you just can't miss out on. I would highly recommend it, especially if you haven't played any of the older games. I think you'll actually have a better time. If you have played some of the older games, you might miss a lot of features and the game might feel empty at times. Like, it's very pretty, but it doesn't have a lot of substance. I feel like we're lacking in interactions with villagers. There's a lot of like mini games, NPCs, all that stuff missing that we had in previous games. And unfortunately, Nintendo has said they will no longer update the game. But even for what it is right now, it's such an amazing game. I and many others have put hundreds of hours into it. So even though it might not be the perfect game, in my opinion, it's still a great game and I would highly recommend it. Next, we have a game that my current obsession. I'm currently also streaming it on Twitch, so if you want to catch up with that, make sure to follow. It's Pokemon Unite. This is actually a free game, so you can download it for free on the Nintendo Switch, and you can, I think, also download it on mobile for free as well. Of course, it does have a lot of paid options, but the basic game is just free to play. I'm currently playing for free, and this is such a fun game. I actually first kind of like discovered it when I was going to the Pokemon World Championships last year in August in London. I saw a lot of people like competing in Pokemon Unite. I was like, oh, that looks fun. It reminds me of League of Legends, which I used to be obsessed with 10 years ago. So it's a MOBA game, which means that you just have this like map and you're in opposing teams and you get to pick a champion or a character. In this case, you get to pick a Pokemon that you have unlocked. You can play with a Pokemon and you fulfill different roles. So you have a defender role, you have a speedster jungler that goes kind of like in the middle part, you have support healers or just general attackers and like damage dealers, and you have to defend your own goal goals and also score points in the opposing goals and try and win this match. And every match only takes 10 minutes, which I also really appreciate because I remember from my League of Legends times that matches could take 45 minutes, an hour, and you would still lose and it would be so frustrating. So this only takes 10 minutes and it also keeps you playing because it only takes 10 minutes. You're like, okay, just one more game, just one more game, just one more game. So it's very fun, very addicting, and I'm really having a great time. And I just think that the Pokemon aspect of it is so fun as well, that you get to play this mobile game, but it's Pokemon themed. You get to pick a Pokemon, you get to dress them up in funny and cute outfits. So yeah, I would recommend checking this out if you are into these types of games, and you know, it doesn't hurt because it's free. Next up on my list is one of my all-time favorite games, actually the second game ever that I got for the Nintendo Switch, and we have Stardew Valley. Of course, this game is on many people's favorite lists. It's already, I think it's like 7 years old at this point, something around that. I think the anniversary actually recently passed, and this game still holds up so well. If you're not into the pixel art style, please don't be discouraged by it because the game itself has so much heart. There's so much content to do. It's so amazing. So please, if you haven't tried this yet, I would highly recommend to try it. It's also super cheap. It was developed by just one person who is also very lovely person, Concerned Ape, and they're actually currently working on developing a new game, Haunted Chocolate, if you're saying it like that. Kind of looks like Stardew Valley, but it's gonna definitely be very new and incorporating a lot of new themes. But Stardew Valley is very much like a classic farming sims, and if I think of farming sims, Stardew Valley is like the best one for me right now, and definitely like the classic revival of the genre kind of game for me. So it's inspired by actual classic farming sims such as Harvest Moon. You can see some of the inspirations. Of course, you like inherit your grandfather's old farm and you get to like work on it, make it better, earn money by farming and having livestock and all that stuff. But then there's also this cute little town with all these residents, some of which you can romance and marry and have children with, and you can also like kind of build up the community and build up this town as well. And like I said, there's just so much to do. The developer has been updating the game for years, so yeah, I would highly recommend it. Next, I promise this is the last Pokemon game I will talk about, but I have to mention Pokemon Arceus or Arceus, kind of iffy on the pronunciation. This is just one that I think also started this kind of revolutionizing of the new Pokemon games. This just came out as like not a mainline game, but just a separate sort of entry in the franchise. And it's amazing. I love it so much. When I think about it, I just feel like those vibes of the game, and it's just really great. So in this game, you actually sort of like go all the way back in time. I think this is, okay, I don't know, is it the Kanto region? I don't know. It's like a certain region, but it's like way back in time actually. So it also really like the clothes and the environment very much inspired by more like ancient Japan, which looks really cool. This is also the first real game where you can see this open world aspect more, so I think they definitely like experimented with that to see if what they wanted to incorporate in the main game line, but I'm not sure if that's true, but it just feels like it to me. But yeah, this is such a great game. Again, amazing storyline, also fantastic soundtrack. I really love the soundtrack in this one. Like the music is very good. It's just really fun, this first look at this open world game, and very different mechanics too. Like catching Pokemon is very different, but really fun. Would highly recommend for just a great and kind of like unique Pokemon experience. Okay, moving on, we actually have more of a JRPG, still really cozy game on my list, and it's Atelier. I want to say just the Atelier games in general, and before you comment, this is how we say Atelier in Europe, the Netherlands, not Atelier. If you want to say it like that, feel free, but please don't force me to say it like that. But anyway, I would recommend all of the games in this franchise probably, and there's a lot, but if you are looking for kind of like a game to start with, I would say start with Atelier Sophie. I personally really liked Sophie as a first entry. It's a bit more accessible because the Atelier games, like the franchise is pretty old by now, I think maybe 20 years old, I'm not sure, so the older games are also a bit more difficult to play. And I started out with Atelier Aisha, and I loved Aisha as like a main character, heroine, magical girl kind of thing, and I loved the world and the story was very interesting, but I just really struggled with the gameplay, and I had to keep a guide with me, and even with the guide I couldn't figure out some stuff, and it's very like time gated, so I felt a little stressed out, didn't love that as much. And some of the later Atelier games don't have that time aspect anymore, or it's like very loose, and it's not like you lose lose the game or fail at the game if you don't complete certain tasks within a certain period. And I just found Atelier Sophie to be very accessible and fun, and it also looks really pretty already. And then you also have Atelier Sophie 2, which also looks stunning. And of course, you can also try out Atelier Ryza. I haven't tried it myself, although I do own the game, but I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I definitely feel like Ryza also popularized the series a bit more. So yeah, I would definitely just recommend checking out any of the games in the Atelier series. Next up, we have another classic, and actually my first ever game on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, I have to mention The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, especially with the sequel coming out pretty soon. I think it's like 2 more months. Tears of the Kingdom will be here. I think I will be checking it out, although I haven't finished Breath of the Wild myself yet. But yeah, this is such a classic. This, I think, definitely put the Nintendo Switch on the map as like the new amazing console, because this game for its time was stunning, and it's still so beautiful looking at it. It's like such a like high quality game, especially for its age, because it's pretty old by now. Massive game as well, so much content to get out of it, interesting story, and again, open world. I think it's also the first open world Legend of Zelda game, so maybe you can't tell, but I just have a thing for open world games. Getting to really go out into this new world and explore it and just run around free is just my favorite thing to do. So that's also what I really enjoyed about Legend of Zelda. And there's just so many things to do. Of course, there's a lot of fighting and trying to free Princess Zelda, but there's also like, I don't know, cooking, gathering stuff, doing all these cute little side quests. And again, just the whole atmosphere and the music, the soundtrack, stunning. Like Legend of Zelda music, nothing beats it. The soundtrack in Breath of the Wild is just amazing. Okay, next we actually have a game that is an otome game. So like I said, there's lots of different genres in here. I have to mention Bustafellows because I really enjoyed it, and it's my second ever actually otome game. I'm close to finishing basically. So otome games, if you don't know, they're like story-based games, so there is a lot of reading, and usually they do have a pretty interesting storyline. I guess it depends on the game, and the storylines can also differ very much. So Bustafellows is a kind of like novel that's more of a detective crime kind of thing, where you're also like trying to unravel like certain mysteries and secrets. And basically we have our main character Toita, who actually has a very special gift. She can at certain points travel back in time, so it also has this supernatural element. Through certain circumstances, kind of like gets caught up in this group of friends who are, you know, not criminals. So you have this like crooked lawyer who is Limbo, who's kind of like the poster boy, the sort of main character. You also have Shu, who is my absolute favorite and he is like a hitman. We also have Scarecrow, who is my second favorite. I love him so much. He is like this great lord of like the, I don't know, the underground or whatever. He's just basically a hacker and like kind of a nerd, and he's just so cute, but he really pretends to be this tough guy. It's adorable. So yeah, you really get attached to all these characters. You feel like you're kind of befriending them, and with otome games as well, you always get to romance a certain group of characters, so you get to romance these groups of friends, this group of friends, these guys. So that's like a fun little thing to do as well. Your choices impact the way the story is going, and if you're going for a good ending or a bad ending. So I always play these with a guide because I don't like the bad endings. I don't want to get them. So I aim for the good endings. But if you want to like unlock everything, see every possible ending, that's also very possible. And I just really like Bustafellows. I like the art a lot. I like the setting, the feel good kind of, I don't know. It was just really fun. I liked the humor, and I liked all of the characters so far. All right, 2 more games to go on my list. We have another very different one. I want to recommend Just Dance. I have the 2022 version. I just bought the game when it was on sale, and I don't like subscribe to anything, and it's really fun. You do still have a lot of song choices, and I found that even though I don't necessarily like love these songs, I will listen to them in my free time. They're really fun to dance to, and just the dancing also makes for a really fun workout. So if you are looking to maybe get a little bit more movement in your life, maybe work out a little, but you don't like the gym, or you don't feel as motivated, or you need a little inspiration, I feel like Just Dance could really help because it's also a game, you know, so you get a lot of like achievements that you can work towards. After every like 2 or 3 songs that you've done, you can play a little mini game and get some rewards and stuff. So it does a little something with your brain and kind of encourages you to keep on going. And I just really like it for when I get home from work, or if you maybe get home from school and you don't really have the energy to go out to the gym again, you want to do a workout from home, then I think Just Dance could be a really fun one. So yeah, I would have to recommend it for the Switch because it's just such a fun thing to do. You get to play a game but also kind of be healthy and be active. And then the last one on my list, we have an ultimate cozy game. I had to mention Cozy Grove. It's a game I really want to play more of. of. Again, one that I love the art style of, and the soundtrack. The soundtrack is just amazing. I keep saying it, but soundtracks just really do something for me. They can really make a game for me, and Cozy Grove definitely has that. Cozy Grove also is a little bit similar to Animal Crossing. You kind of have to just play daily, just do your daily tasks, maybe play for an hour or two every day and work towards certain goals. And it's also like kind of bittersweet because you're a spirit scout and you help spirits move on, and specifically on this island you help bear spirits move on, which, you know, it's bittersweet, but it's overall very, very cute. And that is it for my video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your must play or favorite games for the Nintendo Switch are. We can definitely like help each other out, and I would also love to know. If you want to follow any of my other social media or join my Discord server, everything is linked in my description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.